Welcome back to the Fandalorian Club, everybody. It is Apocalypse Movies. My name is Jake Berlin. I am one of your hosts here on our weekly Star Wars review shows. I'm with Mr. Brian Ablicino, who's finally back to do a Bad Batch review with me. It's been 2 weeks, so I don't have to talk to myself today, thankfully.
It was quite entertaining, though, to see you have to do that. So,
I mean, I'm pretty good at it, but I don't like doing it.
You did a good job.
So, yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to lengthen out a show to like 15 minutes rather than like 3 by just talking by yourself. Like it's just it's a vibe. It's a weird vibe. Either way, we're back into it. Second episode of the Fandalorian Club this week. You saw the Mandalorian review yesterday. And we are diving into the Bad Batch today, episode 13 of season 2, titled Pabu. Very, very interesting episode. This episode kind of feels like it took a little bit of a time jump from the last time we saw the Batch. They have different armor on, which I thought was a very cool touch. And possibilities of where we could see the Batch end up once this story is all said and done. So, Brian, let's just dive into it here, man. Fee, who is Wanda Sykes' character from the Bad Batch, is heavily involved in this one. It seems like the Bad Batch is now working with her because they have cut ties with Sid. Sid is off the table, at least for the time being. I'm sure she'll come back with a vengeance at some point. But they seem to be working alongside Fee and helping her out in all of her doings. And we see her go home, which her home world is called Pabu. It's basically a home world of refugees that are collected into one place. It's gorgeous. It's on a cliffside, very tropical, cliffs, all that type of stuff. So instant reaction here to episode 13 of the Bad Batch.
This episode should have been called Omega Makes a Friend. That's literally how I felt. They were definitely, they started out by saying like, oh, she needs friends and makes friends and do that. But yeah, no, I think it did kind of give a little hint that maybe this might be their home at the very end, just a little bit. I mean, if that's not what's going to happen, it was definitely implied that it could happen. So I don't know where it'll go, but it would definitely seem like this is potentially a future option that might come into play. But yeah, overall, I thought another good episode. Nothing crazy happened, really. It pretty much just kind of gave us the fact that they're not working with Sid anymore. Haven't been for 20 rotations, as she said. And then, yeah, just this new planet that could potentially be a safe haven. So, outside of that, there wasn't too much craziness going on. Well, other than like a tidal wave, but yeah, not like groundbreaking stuff.
I'm sorry, I'm looking up how many rotations.
20. I literally just watched this 5 before. Oh, how many does that equal?
24 hours. So it looks like one rotation might just be a day.
Yeah, I just figured 20, so it's probably close to like 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much 3 weeks. But as we learn in The Mandalorian, every planet kind of operates differently, which is very interesting thing for Star Wars. Yeah, no, I agree. I echo everything that you said. It very much felt like the calm before the literal storm, not in the sense of the tidal wave in this episode, but kind of what's going to be coming with Crosshair, the cloning, Mount Tantus, all that stuff. Like a nice little breather and look into what life could be like. I think a large part of this season has been really focused on the Batch themselves, not just kind of evolving in the sense of stepping away from being a clone and kind of becoming a member of society, but trying to figure out and understand what Omega needs. Because as we learned in this episode, as Fee kind of just like slaps the boys on the head over with,
yeah,
is that she needs to be a kid Like she can't. The only life that she knows is with the Bad Batch, aboard the ship, which is fine. But there will be a time where she kind of needs that as an outlet, right? And we've seen in plenty of stories throughout history of you're a product of your upbringing, you're a product of the people around you, you're a product of the kind of life that you're thrown into, and if Omega is constantly put into that kind of a lifestyle, that's what she's going to become. Not to say that's a bad thing, but she does need to be able to have the chance to explore being a child around other kids, because she was never given that opportunity. I'm not sure if that's where they end up when this series is all wrapped up. I'm not sure. It seems like they're going to be there for right now up until they get pulled away. Which, do we know? Is it 15 episodes?
16. So there's only 3 more.
It's 16, and so there's 2 more weeks. We have 1 next week, and then we have 2 the finale.
Correct.
And so I could see at the end of next week them being pulled away, or in the middle of next week them being pulled away to go do something, whether that's them choosing to or them being forced to.
They're going to be forced to, because Sid's going to rat him out.
Yeah, Sid's definitely going to have a play. But I'm curious if Rex and Echo come calling. I mean, maybe they can come calling and they get thrusted kind of back into battle, and that's kind of what they have to do. I have a feeling that Omega might get kidnapped is kind of what I'm leaning towards, because the last time we saw Mount Tantus, the Prime Minister was talking about this little girl is the heart to oh god, what's the cloning name, Brian? The cloner's name.
The Kaminoans, you mean?
Yeah, the woman Kaminoan. Oh my god, everyone watching us. Everyone watching us we're complete idiots by not remembering this name. The one that's being held captive. Oh my god, hold on.
I could have sworn it was. Well, no, don't ask me. I don't know what. I forget all their names. There's a bajillion different names.
Oh man, I'm so bummed that I cannot remember this freaking Lamasu. Goodness.
I couldn't. Once I had Tanwi in my head, it was like no other name exists.
Lamasu is the one being held captive on Mount Tantus. She's not cooperating. We see the Prime Minister get pulled into play and basically tells them, "You get this girl, she'll do whatever you want." Mm-hmm. And so I have a feeling that Omega's going to get captured, kidnapped somehow, and maybe Sid has to do with that. They find out what the Bad Batch has kind of been doing. Sid rats him out, etc. But yeah, I mean, I thought the episode was very strong. Obviously, there's some very big themes there. We talked about it regarding, what do you do afterwards? Like, what's the end game? Like, after you're all said and done with everything that you're doing now, where do you end up? What are you doing? And they all seem to be in agreement that, like, they could see themselves living there, living a happy life, helping around the society, etc. I hope it's after 3 seasons, but it could be after 2. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, the way it feels, I highly doubt we have 3 episodes left of this show forever.
I don't know, man. It could wrap up super quick. Like think of it this way, Brian. If they wipe out, I know there's only 3 episodes, but let's say they wipe out Mount Tantus. Like, it's gone, done for. What else is there for the Batch to be involved in other than the rebellion stuff? Like, sure, they can make a season worth of, like, they can make a season worth of them doing missions and being mercenaries and stuff, but what outside of the Mount Tantus stuff, like, and them fighting against the Empire, what else is there to do outside of the rebellion stuff?
I mean, I guess it's a fair point.
And I don't want it to. Like, I love this show, and I want to see 3 seasons. I think 3 seasons would make a lot more sense than 2. But
my thing is, it always seems,
and I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. I haven't looked it up or not. So
I don't think it has. Star Wars always has some form of animation running at like some point. Not the whole year, but like every year there's always at least some form of animation that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, which I doubt, that little like baby kid High Republic show is the next like one. I would think that there would be another season. I would be shocked if it was done after these next
I agree.
episodes.
I agree. I mean, it makes sense for there to be another season. So.
I think that they would hype it up more if it was ending like the
Fair
final
point.
season. I mean, the way that this show has been going and running alongside with Mando, pretty much like side by side. If they were to be like, okay, that was it, like that would be shocking to me. I think that would be more shocking to me than it ending, like them just being like, yep, that was it. I'd be like, whoa, you didn't even like advertise.
The only reason I ask, and I know that it's a sloppy comparison,
but your point is valid. Like,
yeah, and the only reason that I do ask again, it's not the best comparison, but Star Wars Resistance was only 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I know that we got the Clone Wars season 7 within that range as well. We do have Visions coming, which I know is basically a 1 season drop all at once.
Yeah.
We do have that High Republic show coming, which is a, like you said, kid show. We have the Acolyte coming. We have Ahsoka coming. We have presumably, I feel, Skeleton Crew coming. I feel like at some point we're going to hear about a Boba Fett season 2.
Probably.
And then Mando season 4. Like, there's a lot in there.
We'll know a lot more next month.
Yeah, we'll know in just a few weeks. We're going to know a lot more. But like, and I'm not saying you can't do it, but if they don't want Star Wars shows running at the same time like Mando and Bad Batch currently are, which isn't terrible, it's not terrible, but you don't really want it to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to squeeze in another 16 episodes somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I would be really upset if there wasn't any Star Wars animation going on at some point.
Me too. I agree.
Like that would be a real bummer for me because I think some of the best stories have come out of animation, and like
it's the most consistent Star Wars selling right now.
Yeah, like
over the last decade anyway.
I would throw Rebels against some movies. Like I mean, yeah. So I would be very, very shocked if honestly there was ever a point in time that we didn't have animation.
I agree.
So I'm hoping maybe they have something else planned that they're about to drop next month. New show. Maybe it is the end and we just don't know what's happening next.
I feel like that's what happened with the first season of Bad Batch is we didn't know it was coming until Celebration. And then it just like, oh, this is coming around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Resistance was the only thing really going, and Resistance wasn't like...
Well, we had season 7 of Clone Wars too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
Which the Bad Batch obviously debuted in, and it kind of felt like a backdoor pilot, but it wasn't 100% sure. Yeah. Either way, like, it's just an interesting question to have because we do have 3 weeks or 3 episodes left.
Yeah, the last episode was March 29th.
Yeah, the week before Celebration.
Oh, that's right. It's the first week of April. That could be interesting.
Well, technically, it's the second weekend of April, but yes, because the first and second fall on a Saturday, Sunday, which whatever. Well, but yeah, it's the true first weekend of April.
Yes. Yeah, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. It's funny because I just assumed
I assumed too, but I wanted to bring the question up.
But it's a valid question, especially with Celebration being right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who knows? They could. I mean, you could I mean, I doubt they would do it with Ahsoka, but being right around the corner. But there could be an animated show of like what happened with Ezra and Thrawn until Ahsoka. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. There could literally be anything coming out at Celebration. So, is it a possibility that this is the last season? We just don't know it yet. I mean, it's definitely there.
And just before someone starts yelling at us in the comments while they're watching this, we did get Tales of the Jedi as well. So,
yes,
there was another thing that we also got over this last year.
Again,
which I hope we get another season of. Which I hope they announce it at Celebration.
That better be like
that better be a yearly thing, like Marvel's What If. That's exactly what.
I would be. I don't even think What If needs to be one yearly. This needs to be. This could go on. That could go on forever. Forever. Like that is one of the best ideas they've ever had. That, I mean, I loved Tales of the Jedi, and just another reason why Star Wars animation is so important. It's so good and so important because it can tell stories live action can't, and I agree. And sometimes some of the best stories come from it. So, I mean,
you're welcome for turning you on to Star Wars animation, Brian. I'll never, ever let you forget that.
I don't know.
Do not try to play cool in front of everybody right now. You wanted to give Rebels no chance. No chance until I told you to watch that show.
Not Rebels.
Yeah? Oh, I'm not getting into this right now. Anyway, because we're cutting short on time. We're filming this before our Mandalorian review. Final thoughts on this episode and what you hope and are excited about here in the next few weeks.
Final thoughts, calm before the storm. Like you said, no pun intended, literally. I'm curious to see where things go, especially that it's 3 episodes in 2 weeks. So that means that they're going to go out with a bang.
So last question here before I do a little recap of my own. And I talked about this over the last 2 weeks as I reviewed them on my own. Does Crosshair join the team by the end of the season?
No,
rejoin the team. You think he dies?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't think they're gonna redeem him because it happens so much, and I don't think he can mentally handle the redeeming stuff. So I think he just sacrificed. I think honestly, he's gonna have like a extreme soldier mentality where he would rather die defending or doing something right than admitting something was wrong and just joining them.
Fair enough. Look, I loved episode 13. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really, really nice episode to do right before everything kind of gets crazy because it is coming. We're about to see everything unlocked as far as cloning and Mount Tantus and all that stuff, which I'm very excited about. Can't wait. We have 2 weeks left of Bad Batch. Just a heads up for everybody watching, our Bad Batch finale review will be live. We're going to be pushing that to Thursday live.
Breaking news to Brian.
We talked about that. And it's also on the Apocryphic schedule, actually. It is. So you did see it because you accepted it. So check your calendar, bud. Check your calendar. We're going to do that live, and I'm trying to get a guest for that one, so stay tuned. But that will be live. We're going to talk about that because it is a double finale. We're very excited to do so. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Fandalorian Club for our Bad Batch reviews. Make sure you're also checking out the Mandalorian side of it all, which we were live yesterday with Mr. Amaru Moses. Super excited. And if you did not already hear, Mr. Ace Cabrera will be joining us next week as well. So again, to everyone watching, we appreciate you all. Stay safe. Thank you so much. And may the force be with you.